So, some things in nature that we want to keep in nature. We don't want the day that they die because of foolishness that humans do and destroy the planet for them. We're the only ugly beast on the planet that can actually do that to 100% of the other beasts on the planet. Lions can't do that to all the beasts on the planet. With simply well, it's not that anymore. It's a nuclear code now. But
The year is 1981. This may seem like a holiday demonstration, parade, or maybe even a funeral procession, but the reality is all the more grim. These people have gathered together as members of the anti-nuclear movement, a worldwide phenomenon protesting the dangers of nuclear warfare and power plants. As a matter of fact, one of the most famous and longest-running anti-nuclear demonstrations is located in Washington, D.C. Known as the White House Peace Vigil, this is an ongoing, 24 hours a day protest.
The Peace Vigil is a protest against nuclear and atomic industry, so weapons and power facilities, against human rights violations, and for the ultimate abolition of wars mankind will get to.
Philipos Melaku-Bello is the oldest living member of the White House Peace Vigil, but the vigil was originally conceived by another. William Thomas, a lifelong anti-nuclear activist, founded the protest site on June 3, 1981. He, alongside Concepcion Picciotto, were the frontrunners of this local movement until Philipos came to join just 20 days later.
My first shift that I did was June 23rd of 1981. My band was on tour and we had 17 days on the East Coast, but we only had 3 shows in 17 days. So I was able to help out 14 out of 17 days.
From that moment forward, Philipos was completely involved in his political activism. He stayed in Washington, D.C. and dedicated himself to protesting the social, environmental, and health-related impacts of nuclear power.
We had influences of being against what government was doing with our tax money to create killing, death, horror, destruction, mayhem, melanoma, beyond that, different kinds of cancer in human beings by dropping the bomb. Also, we were against nuclear power facilities that taken the fresh water of lakes, ponds, rivers, and oceans to cool the nuclear engines and then spew it right back out into those fresh waterways. And then people 20 miles down the river are fishing, and the government keeps on lying to you that an amount of nuclear waste in the water is safe parts per million. No nuclear waste at all is safe parts per trillion.
The anti-nuclear aspect of the vigil has continued over the past 40 years, but has grown to include human rights abuses and other social causes as they occur. But why stay there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? In one sense, the vigil serves as a constant reminder to the US government that human rights abuses, like banning abortion and racially motivated police brutality, and the concern for humankind, is ongoing. But also, the park where the vigil is stationed requires that a person stays with an object at all times. If it is abandoned, it will need to be inspected and removed for safety reasons.
Freedom of speech is guaranteed in this, but once you're not here to speak, then you stop using your freedom of speech. And then you've abandoned something because you've gone away and I'll say that there's many examples. One of the examples is in an airport. You go too far away from suitcase, and you might want to come back for your suitcase an hour later after using the bathroom and sitting at the Cinnabons and thinking your suitcase is going to be there, but your suitcase is not going to be there. It was abandoned.
Like the airport, security is extremely tight around the White House, so those stationed at the Peace Vigil need to be attentive at all times. To Philipos, by employing activists and volunteers 24/7, This structure serves as a symbol that activism never sleeps. Influencing political decisions and championing for human rights never stop. And, for as long as he may live, he will continue with his mission of advocacy.
There's activists, there's copy and pastivists, and there's relaxtivists. I'm not a copy and pastivist, even though sometimes I copy and paste. I'm not a relaxtivist. I'm an activist. I don't know if it's tomorrow. I don't know if I have 35 more years. Well, I don't know if I'll be doing it in my mid-90s, but I'll try to do it as long as I have the strength to keep on doing it.